everybody, my name is Debbie and I am going to make a beach wreath today. I am going to be using the roll method, which is just rolling up the mesh and putting it into the wreath form. So let me begin by telling you what supplies we need. So you're going to need a wreath form. I get mine from Old Time Pottery. I like this wreath form because it has the thick pipe cleaners and they're already in place. Sometimes, like this one, you'll notice it's too close together, and it's not even on the right level here, on the right row. So what I'll do is I'll look at my top row and see if I need to add another pipe cleaner right here. Right now I think I'm just gonna put one down and not use it and see how that goes. We'll play it by eye and go from there. So definitely one wreath form, and then you're going to need a cutter. I use a roll cutter and I also use scissors, so you're going to need those. You're going to need a mat. A mat it helps save your table from getting messed up, and it also, my mat has measurements, so I use the measurements on my mat, so that's a good tool to have. I have a staple gun, so I use that. I have pipe cleaners that I'm going to be using. The pipe cleaners will help me put the centerpiece into my wreath. And my centerpiece for this one is going to be this sign right here. So we're going to use this sign for our centerpiece. I do have a mesh holder, which I love. I absolutely love this. For this video, I already have everything cut out pretty much. I will show you how to cut some of the mesh, but for the most part I have everything cut out and ready for me to go. It makes time go by much quicker when you're making a wreath. So my suggestion would be, before you even start putting the wreath together, is to do all the prep work. Cut your mesh, cut your ribbon, have your wreath ready, and have all your supplies within reach of each other so you can just process it. Another tool that I use is this bow maker my husband made me. I love it. It's really simple. It's really just two dowels in the middle to hold your ribbon when you're putting the bow together, and then one dowel right here to hold your ribbon so you can make your bow. So this is pretty much how it goes. And then this middle piece right here holds your ribbon as you're putting the bow together. So this is extremely important to have, much easier to make a bow. And we will be making a bow today for this wreath. With that being said, the mesh that you're going to need is a 21-inch mesh. This is going to be my bottom layer. And this is what I'm going to do the poofs with to bring depth to the wreath itself. So one thing of the 21-inch mesh, 21 inches by 10 yards is what it is. So that's what we're going to be using. And then you're going to have your 9.5-inch mesh, which is right here. This is my 9.5-inch mesh. For this wreath, I'm doing one color on the top layer. So one color of the 9.5-inch mesh, and then I'm going to do the bottom layer with this burlap. The reason I picked these colors is because this reminds me of sand, and this reminds me of the sky. So a beach wreath, this is going to be really pretty. You can use any color that you want. You can mix and match colors, and that's okay. You can do that. But for this purpose right here, I'm using one color throughout the whole top layer of the wreath, or the second layer, I should say, and then the burlap for the bottom layer, And then my ribbons that I'm going to be using are different colors. So that's where it's going to bring in the different colors. I'm going to use a polka dot and a solid. I usually do 6 different ribbons. You can mix and match, do 2, do 1, however you like it, but in this particular case I'm going to do 6. I'm going to use 6. I'm using a striped, and I think when you mix and match like polka dots and stripes and solids together, the different shapes really bring out your wreath, I think. So we will see how this one turns out. I have this tan color that reminds me of the beach, sand. So we're going to be using that. And then I have this to tie it all in with the white and the tan. So let's get started. How we do this is we put your mesh onto your mesh holder. And I put it, how I do the 21-inch layer is I put it on to where it's coming up and over. That's how I want to put my mesh on the roll. So with that being said, and I will say that a lot, by the way, you're going to start by bringing your mesh in, rolling it in towards each other, and making a point right here. So this is how I'm going to start right here. I'm making a point, and it allows me to roll the mesh much easier. As you can see, the mesh is just rolling up as I'm pulling it. So it makes it easier to put it into the wreath form itself. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to start at the bottom. And let me pull this around. So I'm starting at the bottom. So you got this bottom layer and the top layer. I'm going to start at the bottom layer. And I'm going to put the mesh into the pipe cleaners to hold it. And I'm going to tie it twice. And I'm going to tie it tight so it stays in there. And then what I normally do is you pull, so you're going to pull it, see how it rolls up like that? It makes it so much easier to do the poof method. And when I say poof method, I mean you're going to poof this up to where it's going to be coming up a little bit. So if you don't have a mat that has measurements, what you can do is you can use your wreath form for this. So I want to stick the mesh into the next pipe cleaner. However, I need to measure it, and typically I do 10 inches. I can either measure it 10 inches on my mat, or I can take the mesh and I can wrap it around to the next pipe cleaner. So here's the one I'm going to be using to put the mesh in and hold it, but I can wrap it around to this next pipe cleaner, and that's going to be my measurement right there. So that's about 10 inches. So what I do is I take my mesh and I poof it up, and then I put it into this first pipe cleaner. And then I do that all the way around. So I'm going to pull my mesh, measure it to the second pipe cleaner from the one I'm using, and then I'm going to poof it, and I'm going to secure it into the pipe cleaner itself. Again, you're going to pull, measure, poof, and secure. Pull, measure, poof, and secure. And again, you're going to do this all the way around. So I'm going to fast forward it so I can go ahead and finish this process, and we will get on to the next layer itself, okay? I want to show you that, okay, so this is the pipe cleaner that I started with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the last poof on the first layer, and I'm going to tie it into that first pipe cleaner. So be careful when you untwist the pipe cleaner and you don't take out the first poof. So just be very careful when you do that. And then what I do, instead of cutting this, sometimes I cut it, sometimes I find it much easier if you just go up here to the top layer, because that's what we're gonna do next. You just bring your mesh up, you secure it into this, and this is really gonna be your first poof starting point right here. And then you're gonna do the same thing that you did at the bottom layer, okay? So you're gonna grab it, you're gonna measure it, and then you're gonna poof it and put it into that pipe cleaner. And you're gonna do this all the way around your wreath form, okay? And then this is where I cut your mesh. You want to cut it, and then you're done with this first 21-inch mesh. So I'm just going to roll it up and there. So we're good. Now this is pretty already. I mean, we're already starting off to a good start. Now I want to poof these up just a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one and I'm going to pull them apart a little bit. And it's going to be for the top layer and the bottom layer is what you're going to do. So you're going to poof, pull apart, pull apart. I love working with burlap because it seems to hold its shape so much better than some other meshes that I use. And I think burlap is pretty. So anytime you can work with burlap, especially beach wreaths, you probably want to use burlap. So that's the base of our wreath at this point. So the burlap kind of mimics the sand of the beach. So that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to put this to the side. And so with your wreath form, there's going to be 18 pipe cleaners. With that being said, you're going to, since I'm using one color for my rolls, I'm going to need 18 times 3 because I'm putting 3 rolls in each pipe cleaner. So that's a lot of rolls. And how I cut it is I cut it 10 inches. So my rolls, my mesh is going to be cut in 10 inches, okay? So I already have most of it set up here. So I'm going to do more. And how I do that is you can either use your scissors or I use my handy dandy roller, and it's so much easier to cut. So I'm going to cut these at 10 inches, and this mesh holder really helps out a lot. If you can purchase one of these, next birthday tell somebody you want it, and you're going to do wreaths, you'll probably want one of these. I don't have the third bar in there, this middle one right now. I just have 2 of them because that's all I needed at this point in time. But there are 3 in this mesh holder. I just have 2 of my rods in there right now. So what I'm going to do is just cut it 10 inches, and we're going to do that quite a few times here. So how I roll them, you're going to need a clip because you're going to need to hold the ones that you roll as you're rolling more, because again you're doing 3 for each pipe cleaner. Then what we're going to do is we're going to see how it's already kind of rolling up there. You're going to use that to your advantage, okay? So you're going to take your mesh, but I do them tight enough to where they are usable. So I would say mine is probably about like that. What's going to happen is when we put them in there, it's actually going to look like that, if you can imagine. So with that being said, try to keep it straight. It's easy when you're using this mesh because you kind of have like a line to show you where you're going. to direct you. You're going to use your clip and you're going to clip it to hold it. And then you're going to roll another one. Again, keep it straight, lined up with each other. And then I'm going to clip it together. So I have 2 so far. I'm going to do another. So you're going to roll. And there's my 3, okay? So, oh, and that could happen. So let's do that again. So you want a good enough clip. This one might be too loose to hold all of them together. And this is a thicker mesh than I'm used to using. I got this mesh from Craft Outlet and I actually like it. It is pretty thick. So let me re-roll this one. And then what I'm going to do, instead of letting it go that time, I'm going to hold it. So this is what you have. This is your first roll to put into your mesh. So you're going to start on your first layer, the bottom layer. So I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to show you. So here's the bottom layer. I'm going to untwist the pipe cleaner. And I usually only twist it twice when I put the poofs in, because I don't want to sit here and untwist all day long. So two twists will do good. So you're going to take it, open the pipe cleaner up, and you're going to take your rolls all together, and you're going to place them into this pipe cleaner. So you're just going to stick it straight down in here into the middle, and you're going to wrap it tightly with the pipe cleaner. So you're going to stick it in, grab the pipe cleaner, and you're going to twist it again 2 times, but you're going to twist it tight so it holds these in. And the more we put in here, the tighter it's going to get. So as you can see with that, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to have all the rolls all over the place, okay? And it kind of reminds me of a starfish in a way. So this is beach theme, so I think we're just going to keep it with that. This would look really cute with the patriotic wreath if you had red, white, and blue, one of each, and put them in here. It would kind of mimic a firework in a way. So that's always a thought. I might do that for my next video. Put down in the comments if you want me to do a patriotic wreath this way. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to do the next pipe cleaner. So you take your mesh, and again, you roll it like a burrito. And I'm going to be totally honest. When this is the method I learned first. It wasn't easy to me. Depending on the mesh, I must have had some really thin mesh the first time I made one of these, because I just couldn't get the concept at first. I'm like, I couldn't roll this straight. But the more I did it, the better I got. And just know that. Don't get frustrated. Just keep practicing, because that's going to get you better, okay? So with that one, you're going to hold on with your clip. And you can have, you know what's good to have? Dollar store has the clothes hanger clips. And you just buy a pack of those, and you can use a clip for each one of these. It's your choice. And you're just going to clip them together. So right now I just have 2. And just keep rolling. And this is what's time consuming, is the rolling part. My last video I did the woodland ruffle, if you want to go back and look at that. And I'm sure I'll do more with the woodland ruffle, but that's my favorite one to do. Because it's a combination of the ruffle and the rolls. So forgive me, I was thinking there for a second. So you're just going to take it. Again, you're going to open up your pipe cleaner. And I tried to do this before. I have these in my hand, but I didn't at this point. You're just going to stick it right in the middle. And you're going to push it down as far as you can and tight as you can. You're going to tie this as tight as you can. And they're just gonna come up, and you'll position these again towards the end of the wreath making process. And that's okay. So you see how it's coming along. You see the beach and the sand, so it's really nice at this point in time. So what I'm gonna do, instead of, for the sake of you not having to watch me roll all of these, I'm gonna start I'm gonna do it on here, but I'm gonna start fast forwarding this video, and so we can just go a little bit faster, okay? I need my coffee when I make the wreaths. It gives me a little bit of pep. The starting of the top layer. I remember when I first started this method, again, this was the first wreath I ever made, was with these rolls. It took me forever to do, and it feels like this was pretty darn quick actually. So it just goes to show you, the more you practice, the faster and better you get. So And just remember too, you are your own worst critic when it comes to these. I will see every imperfection of this wreath, but somebody else that's looking at it won't see anything. They'll just love it the way it is. So with that being said, this is what it looks like right now. And again, it's beautiful the way it is. It's really, as you can see, it's got a lot of dimension to it. But again, my perspective, I don't like just the mesh wreath. So we're gonna go do our third layer, which is the ribbon. Okay, so how I do the ribbon is I cut my ribbon at 14 inches. So each one of these are 14 inches. And it looks like that. That's what it looks like. So you're gonna do it on both ends of your ribbon, okay? So with that, we have 18 pipe cleaners. I have 6 ribbons, and 2 ribbons go on each pipe cleaner. So that means I need 6 of each ribbon, okay? And this is how I'm pairing them up. I'm doing a striped with multicolors, you can see. And then I'm matching it up with a solid that goes with it has that blue in there. It's really beachy pretty. And I got this at Sam's Club. I love their ribbon actually. When you can get it from Sam's Club, get it from Sam's Club. Now they do have a lot of the smaller ribbon, the thinner, the 1.5 inch, but that's okay, it's still pretty. So I'm matching this one up with this polka dot right here. Beachy still, I like it. And again, it's 14 inches cut and ducktailed. And then I have this pretty tan and white, which will mimic the sand. Again, it's ducktailed or dovetailed. Again, in the comments below, put what it is. Educate me. And I'm a little torn between this ribbon. And sometimes it seems like lately there's always 2 ribbons at the end that I like and I don't know which one to use. I do like this one, it's really pretty, but it doesn't scream beach to me. This kind of does. This really does scream, but I don't know if I have enough. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna alternate this with this for the last ribbon and see what it does and see how I like it. If I don't like it, I can take it apart and I can do it all with one or the other. So that's the benefit of doing your wreaths, is you can take this all apart and start all over again. So with that being said, I'm gonna cut some of this and I'll show you how I cut it. 14 inches. And I usually have my mat because you don't want to ruin your table. And I take the ribbon and I just use my scissors for the ribbon. I don't use the roller because sometimes I use the wired ribbon and so it messes up my roller. So I don't like that. So I use a pair of scissors that are not my good scissors for the ribbon, because scissors are very important. I do stuff with yarn and fabric and stuff like that, so you really need a good pair of scissors and you don't want to ruin it on the wires. So again, 14 inches, and I'm doing 6 of these. Actually, I'm going to do 3 of these because if I'm alternating with that other one, I only need 3. Now, this is a different texture and a different material. So I'm not going to ducktail this one. This is going to stay straight. And it kind of reminds me of driftwood. So to me, this one is really beachy. I might actually cut 3 more of these and use all of this in there. I'm not going to dovetail this one either because it's going to fray it a lot and I don't want to do it. It's already going to fray, which is okay because it's beachy and it can do that. So I don't dovetail these ones. Ducktail, dovetail. Again, comments tell me so I can say the right thing. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start putting my ribbon in. So let me get everything together. So this is going to go with that. I actually think I'm going to cut more of these. And let me bring the wreath over here so you can see it. And maybe bring it down a little bit. Let's see, there we go. Bring it down a little bit more. Look, this is just my second video, so I'm learning all of this stuff. I need to get something that's gonna, maybe I can do it with a button or something. So again, I untwist the one I'm gonna be working on. And I don't know why I untwisted that one. I start with the first layer first. I always start with the first layer. And then what I do, we don't have to think about any of this because all of this is the same color. So all of these are gonna go all into the same color. So you don't have to think, okay, well, is this gonna go with this color? Is this one gonna go with this color? You don't have that to worry about because it's all the same color. So it doesn't matter which one I pick. I'm just gonna pick one. And how I do it is you find the middle of your ribbon and you scrunch it up. And there is a method to my madness, and I'm gonna show you right now. So here's what the ribbon is gonna look like, okay? But if you look at the back pieces are facing that way because it makes it much easier than if it was facing towards me. So I keep it consistent like that, okay? That's me. I'm not saying you have to keep it that way, but that's just me. And then for the second ribbon, I'm doing the same thing, finding the middle piece, the center, and I'm making sure that it is the same way as this one. And I'm going to put it right in to the pipe cleaner. And we will fix all these ribbons at the end because we're gonna be moving this around and it's gonna be all over. It's gonna be a hot mess before we fix it. So undo your next pipe cleaner. And with that being said, I'm gonna do a couple of these and then I'm gonna fast forward it, okay? So again, let me move this so you can see. You take your ribbon and you find the middle and you just squish it together. And you do the same thing for this side. And you're gonna kind of make a cross or an X or however you see that, that's what you're gonna make. It's gonna be a cross, X, whatever. You're gonna find your pipe cleaner that you're working, that you opened up right here. And this is the one I opened up, as you can see right here. And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it in the center, push it as far as you can, as tight as you can. And then you're gonna twist that pipe cleaner around twice. I do it 3 times at the end because this is my last layer. I'm not gonna have to put anything else in there. And then there's what it looks like. So you'll see how that's how it's coming out. And then we're gonna go to the next. And this one is the next one. And I opened it up. There we go. And you're gonna find the center. Let me move this again. You're gonna find the center of your ribbon. And you're going to squish it up, scrunch it up, squish it up, however you wanna say it. I think my dog has to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna have to stop here in a second. I think she has to go potty. Uh-oh. Are you down there? Are you down there, Missy? Hi, Missy. You want to meet everybody, Missy? Come here. Come here. Come here, Missy. Come here. Let's meet everybody. This is Missy. She has to go out, so I'll be right back. Gotta go out. Okay. I'm gonna continue around the whole wreath. So I'm gonna start fast forwarding it. I'll do a couple more just to give you guys a couple more of showing, but I alternate. So here's my first set of ribbons, my second set, and then my third set of ribbons. And I really do like this. I don't know if you can see it that well in the video, but I really think it's beachy. I think I'm gonna use this all the way around. I'll put the other one in just to see. I'm gonna start the pattern again, so I'll start with this, the polka dot and the plain. So what I do is I open up the the pipe cleaner, so I have it ready for me. And you grab your ribbon, both of them right here. And I'm gonna push this up. Oops, my pipe cleaner fell. And then what I do is I find the center. Again, scrunch it up, find the center, scrunch it up, make it into an X or a cross, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to push it into the pipe cleaner as far as you can. Twist it as tight as you can, twice, 3 times, however many times you want to do it. I do it 3 times at the last step. And then you're just going to place your ribbons. And there we go. And then the second, this one is going to be the striped, the darker blue, okay? This is what we have. This is our product that we have right now. And you can see how full it's gotten. It's got a lot of dimension there. So it went from nothing to this, and it's really pretty. Now, a lot of people would love this. It's pretty by itself. We're gonna take it a step further, and we're gonna add a sign. I got this at a local store here where I live. And it's beachy. It's got the colors, and I think it matches. It's really pretty. I grab 4 pipe cleaners. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I twist 2 of them together to make one long one. And it becomes long. And then what I do, I use the stapler. I just put a staple in it because sometimes I don't get the pipe cleaner, and it's pretty funny. But anyway, it gives me enough room to where I can just stick the pipe cleaner right into my staple right there. So it makes it easy for me. Now I take it and I twist it so it's on there tight and it's secure. And then I do that with the other side as well, because I need to attach it and I need it to be even, so I'm gonna put 2 of these on there. Just find the pipe cleaner, and then I twist it so it's secure and it stays on. So I'm gonna put this to the side, and we're gonna attach it here in a little bit. Potter wreath, I love how this came out, if you can see it. It came out really cute. So I'm gonna hang this one up. So I'll be able to get behind here and attach my bow here in a minute. So like I said earlier, this is my bow maker. And what I do is I use all the ribbon that is in the wreath. So what I do is I start with a thicker ribbon. So I start with a 12-inch tail. And this is one-sided ribbon. I mean the pretty side, there's only one. This one is 2-sided, so I don't really have to think about this ribbon. This one I have to think about because I have to twist it to make the pretty side show in the ribbon, okay? So 12-inch tail. And how I show the pretty ribbon in the side is to keep it correct, is I twist it. So I twist the ribbon and I put it in my wreath maker. So this is my tail. And then I make an 8-inch bow. So I'm gonna bring it out to 8 inches. And my dog is going crazy over here. So I gotta twist it again because I'm gonna make another bow on this side. So I'm gonna twist it and bring it down. So I had to twist it, and now I bring my bow over here on this side. I'm going to make an 8-inch bow. So 8 inches, squish. Now I don't have to twist this one because it's just my tail and it's already at the right side. And there we go. That's the bottom layer of my bow. And I cut this at 12 inches too. And there it is. The tail and a bow go together. These two go together, and the bottom layer goes together. I want to keep them on the same side, so I'm going to move them, and I'm going to do my bow how I want it to look when I'm done, if that makes sense. So I'm going to position it now. So I'm going to bring this bow over on this side, and I'm going to bring its tail on that side as well. And I'm going to bring this bow on this side, and I'm going to bring its tail over here. So now I have it positioned the way I want it. This is what it's going to look like right here. Make sure your bows don't flip. Push them down so they're pretty tight there. Put it on the holder. 12-inch tail. Scrunch. Twist. Put into the wreath holder. Here's my tail. Now I can position it now. So here's that. Here's that. Since my tail on this side is over here on the bottom, I'm going to put this tail up here. And then my bow, I'm going to do, on this layer, I'm going to do another 8-inch bow. So I'm going to bring it forward, scrunch it. And this is where I have to twist because I want it, the rim, my nose itches. I think there's stuff floating around here. But anyway, that will happen. You're going to twist so your ribbon is on the right side when you bring this bow around. See how it's on the polka dot side? This is nothing, so you're gonna keep it consistent. So 8 inches again, scrunch. This time I don't have to twist because it's my tail and it's already on the right side. The right side of the ribbon is showing. Now with this one, this bow's gonna go with its tail. This bow's gonna come over here. It's like this little piggy went to market. Hey, whatever helps you remember, you know? And then I'm gonna cut my tail. There we go. these 2 pipe cleaners. Got these at Michael's, love them. I always get them when they're 70–80% off. Usually at the holidays they have all the different colors. This one is perfect for beach wreaths. Twist it together. You need to find out how is your bow positioned, okay? You need to get under all layers of my bows. So I'm gonna stick actually first I'm going to pull my bow up a little bit so there's a little gap in between the board and the ribbon itself. And then make sure you get all of the layers. So you just put it there, push all of the ribbon as tight as you can together, and then bring it off of the wreath, the bow maker. And that's what you have, okay? Again, I'm not perfect at this method. It's just me. If this comes apart and it doesn't stay a bow, I'm gonna be okay with that, because then it'd just be like a little tail, and I'm okay with that. Keep it together as tight as you can. Bring the pipe cleaner around. Make sure the ribbon and the tails are not twisting at all, because that's what will create a big hot mess if you twist your ribbon. Because you're going to twist, and you'll notice as you're twisting, if you did it right, your bows will start to pop out. Just don't let it twist as you're twisting. Don't let the bows twist or anything. Doesn't look like much right now. It looks like a hot mess right now, but I'm going to put it into the wreath. And I kind of look at my bow and see where is it gonna look best at. I think all of those are down here, so I'm gonna place it just like this. I'm gonna bring it, put the pipe cleaners in between the mesh, and I'm gonna hook it to the wreath form itself. Okay? And that's what helps me back here and having this tripod. Play with it until you get it to where you like it. There's that. Bow. Right here. Let me pull this over here a little bit. And I place my sign where I want to put it. So I'm kind of putting it to the side, and I kind of like to bring all of my rolls out from behind it, just because I like to see the rolls until you get it right. So I'm going to place my sign right here is what I'm going to do. Where it looks good, bring my ribbon up to where it needs to be, and then this is where the fun begins, because you want to be able to see the sign. And so what I do now, I look at my tails, and I don't need all of these tails. Here we go. We're just gonna cut. There's no rhyme or reason for me cutting these tails. It is what it is. So let's just go with it. I'm gonna start with this top one. Sometimes the ribbon itself gets in the way of the bow, so you can pretty much move it around and position it a little differently so it's fanning right there, and the bow now can sit a little bit better, and that's behind it right here. We can dress the wreath up a little bit, but what would look really cute is something like this. Just a decorative ball that would go in a vase or something, or a bowl. You can take these. Now these are big. This probably wouldn't look right inside of this area, but then again it might. Let's see. So like that can go in there, or you can use a smaller one for that area. And I have some. And you want to look at the different textures and the different, you know, designs of these and see. So like this would be cute in there. This actually would be cute. So we could stick something like that in there. Bows up a little bit. Open them up a little bit. And we can stick that in there. That's cute. I think that's cute. So how would I secure that? I would secure that with hot glue. Do I like that one or do I like that one? I think I like this texture better in there, to be honest with you. I like that. So what I'm gonna do is I will put hot glue. Now you can use multiple things. You can use E6000, you can use hot glue. I live in Florida, sometimes hot glue just falls off because it gets so hot outside that it just doesn't like to stick. So in something like this I would be okay with. Sometimes you just have to play with these things and see how it's going to work out. I don't know, it may end up sticking. We'll see. And perfect example right here, hot glue does not like to stick to everything. That one's secure. And I think that's cute. I think it's really cute. Now we can go all out and put some more of these in different places. Like I can put one up here, which I think would be really cute. And I just would secure it in there with some glue. And just make sure you have enough in there to secure it. Like this, a wreath like this I would sell for $95 in our area. Now, a wreath like this technically could go for probably $150, but you gotta know your audience. And in my area where I sell them at, I sell faster, so the value is there for me if I sell it for $95. So you just have to know your value. Time to me is value. So if I can have a quick turnaround with this, that's better value to me than an extra so many dollars. I don't want to go too overboard, but I don't feel 2 is the right amount of something like this in there. So I think I'm gonna go for 3 of the balls, and they're gonna be different, okay? But I gotta figure out, where do I want these? And you just secure it again with some hot glue. That's what I'm using. My little dandy hot glue gun. And I'm gonna secure it right here. And they're very light, so it doesn't take much to secure them onto this stuff. So we have one more to place. So let's see. I'm gonna place it. I think I'm gonna put it right here. There. I think. With that being said, I'm gonna hang it up and I'm gonna show you the final product. If you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I plan on doing a video a week. It's not always going to be wreaths. I like to do other crafts as well. For example, I'm going on a cruise, Disney cruise, and I'm making some pumpkins out of yarn, pom-poms. I also Probably going to make my Disney Mickey Ghost ornament, so that'll be fun to watch. So yeah, come back, like the page, subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Let me go ahead and hang this up and I will show you the final product here in just a minute. And here is the finished product. As you can see, we have our bow, we have our sign, and all of our ribbon and mesh. It really came out beautiful. Here's the bow, and then here's the side. It shows the sand and the beach colors. And overall, I think it really came out really pretty. I hope you like it.